we had a very exciting last episode.
We did.
Right?
We did.
We were talking about, well, first of all, we gathered it from one of our viewers' questions.
Somebody asked the question.
Yes.
And we dealt with it.
And we dealt with it. But I think there's even more that we
there
can
is,
talk
there
about,
is,
right? Like
there
we
is.
left some meat on the bone.
Yeah, we gotta go back.
We got to go back.
We got to clean that bone.
Yes, we got to nibble on the bone a little bit.
Get the
I was gonna do
gristles.
something, but
Get the gristles.
I was gonna do something, but it probably,
Yeah,
it probably
okay,
won't
yeah,
translate
yeah,
well.
it might
so
not, it
I'm
might
not
not.
gonna do
Don't
it.
do it. Don't do
I'm
it.
not gonna do it.
Don't do it.
I'm not gonna do
Don't
it. I'm not gonna do it.
But so the last episode, we were dealing with the question. You guys have been married for 30 years. What did you do to make your marriage last?
Right.
Right. And so we were talking about some things that are needed if you want to, as Keith Sweat said, make it last.
Make it last forever and ever.
Well, we sang the whole song last time, but we don't want to hurt nobody because y'all ain't ready for that gift. Y'all ain't ready for that gift.
No, that didn't sound like it was gonna be.
I was. Let me clear my throat. That's how he
Is
said
that what he said?
Yeah, see?
Because that sounded like I needed to go grab a mask.
Anyway, right. So another way of answering that question is what I want to talk about. What we want to talk about tonight.
Okay.
Because when you're talking about making it last forever, you're talking about how do we grow together instead of growing apart.
Yeah.
Right.
Of that, because again, in case somewhere you didn't realize it,
I don't know if they did.
We got married at age 19 and 20.
19.
We thought we were grown.
We did.
And some of you older couples who have children that are in that age range now, you know how they think they grown.
They think they grown.
They think they know. I mean, and we were kind of mature for our age at the time, but we were nowhere near being grown.
Nowhere near it.
We weren't acting
Not
like
even
it.
in the same neighborhood.
No.
Not even on the GPS.
No. So we literally had to also grow up together.
Yeah. Because, when it comes to getting married, one of the mistakes people make is that they marry potential. Right? They think that the person they marry ought to grow. But the reason why people grow apart is because sometimes one part refuses to grow.
Yeah. And you know what? I would venture to say like that's an expectation in probably 80% of marriages. Because, unfortunately, when we're dating, when we really should be getting down to the nitty gritty of some things, we're really trying to just impress. So we're only putting our best foot forward.
That's good.
We're never talking about our flaws and our insecurities and things like that. We're never talking about our areas where we're weak in, where we need to still, that we're working on and things like that. So we're always trying to put on a facade that everything is perfect.
Everything's
and then
good.
you get into the marriage and you find out, no, there were some areas that I needed to mature in.
Absolutely.
There were some areas that I needed a different understanding.
That's good. That's good. And so if you're going to grow together, right, both parties need to be willing to grow, especially in the areas that will be beneficial for the person you're with.
Yeah.
Right? There has to be some things you're willing to change for the person you love.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes absolute sense.
Yeah. Because over these last 30 years, you best believe who you see is not who we were.
Nope.
Man, if you'd have met us back then, Lord,
Ooh,
have
let's
mercy.
See. I mean, even my my way of even thinking about. I know we can keep it light.
Okay,
we can
keep it light.
Our perception on buying a home.
Oh,
when we were first married and we were
Okay.
going out to to look for a home, I had one way of thinking about
Right.
it, and you had a different way of
Totally
thinking.
different way.
Totally different
Yeah.
way. And we say this all the time. Our perceptions are shaped by our experiences,
Absolutely.
our upbringing, what has
Absolutely.
been our environment, what we were taught by our family, what
Right.
happened in our family.
Right.
So in my family, my upbringing, I saw people be homeowners.
You did.
Right.
That was your normal.
Right. That I knew black families who were homeowners.
Right.
But in your upbringing,
We all lived in apartments.
right, and a lot of you in an apartment.
Okay, I mean, it was like, let me think. My grandmother had 6 kids, and all 6 of her kids lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. And then her kids had kids, and we all lived in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Right.
Good God from Mount
Yeah.
Zion.
So when we went to go buy a home, right, my perception, I was like, well, we need at least 3 or 4 bedrooms. This is our first home. We're just newly married. At the time, we're just newly, you
I had to grow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I said, and it would be beneficial to our marriage for you to develop a different outlook.
Well, and so because when I hear you talk about that, while it might not seem like you had to do any growing when it came to your expectations of buying a home, but there was a growth in understanding that your expectations were not my expectations.
Oh, yeah, because
Right.
I couldn't understand it.
Exactly.
I'm like, what is wrong with
What's
this
wrong
brother?
with this dude?
But I had to learn how to understand
That's
your,
good. That
your
is real
upbringing
good. That
and
is real
the reason
good.
why, instead of, and I got to say, at first, I was like, oh my God, he's so ignorant.
You
I
said
mean,
it to yourself.
yeah.
You ain't called me ignorant.
But remember I used to do that thing you hated?
'Cause it'd have been a problem.
Remember I used to do that thing you hated?
Some-
I used to go,
some
duh.
slow singing.
Nuh-uh, but remember, I would
Flower
go,
bringing.
are you listening?
Okay, I'm sorry, I wasn't. I had that song in my head. But go ahead.
But remember, I used to go, duh.
See, you did used to do that. And that used to make me so mad.
Yes.
Listen,
So-
ladies, don't do duh when you talk to your man. It was.
We were
it's not gonna be
young.
good.
We're talking about how we had to grow up.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We had to grow up. So, yeah, I was like, oh my God, at first, because I didn't understand it, right? Because
Yeah.
it wasn't my experience, right? So at first I was like, oh my God, he's so ignorant. Why would he, think that we should only get a 1-bedroom house? Like,
Right.
what sense does that make? But then I had to learn how to step back and understand why you felt that
Absolutely.
way.
You had to learn who you actually married.
Yeah, exactly.
And we talked about that.
Right, exactly. And so your upbringing was different than mine. So you
Yeah.
didn't see
You didn't-
home ownership. You didn't see that. Your family worked hard.
Yeah, but we didn't
you were in the
think
inner
about
city.
being. And here's the thing, because when you said that, you made me think about something. Is that when you marry somebody and your backgrounds clash, you got to be careful because their background may not be your truth, but it's their truth.
Yeah.
So when you come against their truth, you actually almost insult them.
Right.
It starts a fight.
It does. It creates strife.
Yeah.
It creates strife.
Absolutely.
And then you start to get off you're no longer on the same page.
You're no longer on the same page. Yeah. And so when it comes to making change, because of course we have to be willing to make the changes for the person you married, but the changes you make, before you make them for them, you have to believe that you need to make them number one for yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Because when your spouse is asking you to change something, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, should this really be changed? Because if you don't believe you need to change, it won't last.
Right. Exactly. And you'll be bitter.
You'll be bitter.
Because you're like, oh, you forced me to do this. You made
Absolutely.
me do this. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And how many times do we say that in our marriages, right?
Absolutely.
I only did it because you made me.
Absolutely.
And
Right.
not seeing that, no.
You needed to.
Right, you needed that.
'Cause I
your
give you-
marriage
Your marriage,
needed it.
because here's an example of an area that I ended up having to change, and it made us better, but I had to see that it was going to make me better.
Okay.
Right? And it was my attitude.
Uh-huh.
Man, when it comes to anger, I realized I don't possess a 2, a 3, a 4, 5, 7. I got 1 and 10. I mean, when anytime something goes happening, I don't have a medium, right? So if you say something that, let's say you were not telling me everything, not that you were trying to manipulate me, but you were just being mindful of making sure I could handle all that you were saying.
Right.
If I found out that there was a little pinch of the story you didn't tell me,
Uh-huh.
you a liar.
Yeah.
I mean, you was a bold-faced liar.
Right.
And it's like, hold on a second.
Everything that I said, there was no truth in any of it.
If you didn't believe in me, a little bit.
Right.
See, I knew you doubted me. You don't believe in nothing I do. You
don't
just
support me.
You's a hater.
Not I'm a hater.
And then even when it came to salvation, if you didn't pray like I thought you should, or read every time I thought you should read, it wasn't that you needed a moment to clear your thoughts. You a heathen.
Right.
You ain't say, you need Jesus.
Yes.
Well, I found out that not only was it good for me to change that for you, not only was it good for me to change that for us, but it was also good for me to change that for me.
Yeah. And again, is that not growing up?
Right.
Isn't this what we teach our children?
Yeah.
That they need to mature. And as they grow older, there should be another level of maturity in that particular area.
Absolutely.
Because guess what? You don't stop growing.
Right.
You never stop growing.
You never stop growing.
You never arrive at a place, where everything is just perfect and smooth sailing. There's always going to be an area that we need to evolve and grow in. So, so that was you growing up in that area. And like you said, it helped you, first of all, as a person.
Absolutely.
Then it helped us as a married couple.
Absolutely.
And then it helps. I mean, again, these principles are just valid even outside of marriage. You can be watching us and you're not married.
Yeah.
That helps you in any relationship, in
area
any
of life.
arena.
Yeah.
It helps you on your job and your career, the way you come against challenges. You have to mature, you have to grow, you have to allow some things to fall off.
And because we're
When
talking
I
about,
was a child.
I thought like a child,
Yes.
right? Understood like a child,
Yes.
reacted like a child, which goes back. But when I became an adult,
Yes.
I put away
Childish things.
which takes me back to that anger thing, because really, those temper tantrums, and I know you may not like this, especially my brothers, is that anytime we don't have a 2 through 9, what we're doing is throwing temper tantrums, which is the same thing children do.
Right.
When they don't get their way, there's no 2 through 9. There's 1 to 10. Just straight jump on the floor. Straight take off their diaper and take off. I mean, I don't know what these kids be doing. They just be tripping. No, some of these kids take off the diaper and just be I don't know what they be doing. But it's really a sign of immaturity.
Yeah.
And not only does it hurt the child, it hurts the parents or those around the child. Because what it's saying is that I have to be careful about what I say.
Yes.
Because the wrong answer is going to cause you to throw a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
And so now I can't be honest.
Can't be honest, can't be truthful.
Right.
Keep my guards up.
Keep my guards up.
And you shouldn't really keep your guards up with your husband.
Not with your husband.
Spouse,
Yeah.
Like there shouldn't be any walls.
Right.
But now where there really wasn't one, you're creating one.
Absolutely.
You're causing your spouse to build a wall and keep you out.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Which leads to other things.
Other things. Come on here.
It's a, like they say, like marijuana is a gateway drug.
Well,
when you have walls and you're not able to be open and honest and communicate clearly with your spouse, it's a gateway.
It's a gateway
to other things.
Because
you're going to find somebody. We said it once before in a previous episode.
Absolutely.
You'll find somebody to communicate with.
Because here's the thing. The danger of not being willing to change is that change is going to happen whether you want it to or not, right? There's some areas in your life, there's some areas in your marriage that's going to change whether you make the changes with it or not, right? One of the areas is, how many of you guys know that your body's going to change?
Live long enough. It will change on you no matter what you do.
Okay.
And you don't have to be out of, it doesn't have to necessarily be out of shape, change. It could be, but it's just the wrinkles they're gonna come eventually.
Eventually. Listen,
the
Linda.
gray hairs.
Listen.
Oh my gosh, the gray hairs they're gonna eventually come.
Absolutely. And no matter what you try to do, even if you try to keep up the outside, the inside is still getting miles put on it.
Yes.
Right? That heart is going to be the age of you, regardless of what you put into it.
Yes, exactly.
Right? So you have to be understanding that since change is going to happen, instead of me fighting the change,
oh my God, yeah,
let me lean into the change and work with the change so that the change works for me.
Exactly. That's good.
Come on now.
Don't fight the change.
Don't fight the change.
Don't fight the change. And that's really good right there. You have to. You know what? I mean, like you said, a lot of times, married couples, they get married, and then their next step is to what? Start a family.
Start a family.
Right? So now you're talking about children. and you're talking about raising children and things like that. For us, you know, and we'll talk again. So much that we can share with you all,
Right.
so many things that we're going to talk about. But for us, we actually never had children.
Right.
Right. We dealt with infertility, you know, my soapbox that, you know, like now there's so many things that are a part that can help couples so that doesn't become so
Right.
traumatic
Right.
to couples. But we didn't have children, right?
Right.
We not that we were trying not to have them, we just didn't have it.
just
So
didn't have
that
it, yeah.
dynamic never happened for us.
Right.
But for the majority of couples, they have children. They have one or
Absolutely.
more children,
Yeah.
one child or more
Yeah.
in their throughout their marriage, right? So that's a dynamic.
Right.
And then there again, guess what's going to surface? Your upbringing, your
Your spouse is up-
experiences,
yep.
how you were raised. You know, one thinks that timeout is fine. One thinks that spanking is fine. You know,
Listen.
one thinks that you should have to be hard on girls, but boys you can be more relaxed on. Just all kind of stuff, right?
All kind of stuff.
Yeah, one thinks that you should concentrate on athletics, and the other one thinks that should count on academics.
Right.
You know, you should strengthen that area. It's just so much.
It's a lot. And again, the thing is that, listen, family, we're talking about making this marriage last. Change is going to come.
It's gonna come.
Whether you want to or not. Because another thing I think about is that as we get older, our desires change.
Oh yeah, yeah. What we thought was important at 19 and 20,
Oh, man.
it changed by the time we hit 30,
Yes, it did.
and it surely has changed since we hit 50.
Man, my.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen.
You start thinking on a whole different level. And listen, so like us, we didn't have children, so we didn't have that family dynamic change. But guess what's happening now? We're becoming older adults, which means our parents
are getting older.
are
Right.
getting older.
Right.
So now we have a dynamic of now we are becoming more involved in our parents'
lives.
life.
Yeah, we
Do
didn't
y'all
think that
know?
was gonna-
Let me tell you.
Tell them.
It's hard raising parents.
It is.
Parents
It's hard
are
raising parents in these streets.
disrespectful
It's hard
and
raising parents in these
disobedient.
streets.
And it's hard.
Listen.
So you raising your children
They
now.
watching. Be like, go to bed, Dad. Mama, go to bed. Why you in these streets?
Right,
You got a
exactly.
curfew.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Why did you buy that? Intoxicating.
It was,
But
yeah,
it's
but.
a different
so
level.
hold on. Let me tell you. Let's explain. Let's explain.
All right. We are definitely talking to the married couples
So
right now.
intimacy has always been intoxicating.
Yeah.
But when we were in our 20s, we got high every day.
Yeah.
We was crackheads for sex. We was, I don't know if you say crackheads. That's not, I don't know what you say.
Yeah,
now.
it's probably
We was
not
addicted.
PC anymore.
We was addicted.
We was addicted because it was intoxicating. I'd rather be with you.
So I mean, I'm talking sometimes twice a day. Woo! Chicka bow, wow. Then we got 30. And if I see you a few times a week, you know what I'm saying?
I can't believe this conversation is going there,
And
but
then,
go ahead, keep going. It's good.
And then you hit your 40s and 50s. Now you got to put it on your schedule. Hold on a second. Let me see. Take out the trash, laundry.
I've got a meeting.
Let me see.
The kids have soccer.
You free about 6:30?
You got to take your dad to his doctor's appointment.
Yeah. So meet me about 6:30. You good about 6:30?
Okay, we can try it. We'll put it on the calendar. I'll pencil it in.
I'm gonna be honest. In your 20s, we was like Lionel Richie, all night long, all night, all night, all night. In your 50s,
So
you sleep all night. You.
okay. I'm since you out there,
I'm out there.
I'm finna go out there.
Please.
In your 20s,
In your
you
20s.
know, you might fall asleep and wake up about 1 o'clock in the morning.
And let's go again.
Yes. In your 50s,
Hold on,
you don't wake up in the middle of the night.
In your 20s, you wake up, you be like, hey. In your 50s, you wake up, you be like, nah, I'm tired.
If you wake up I just wake up
hold
and
on,
go to the
listen.
bathroom and get back
That's
in
what I'm about to
the
say.
bed.
In your 20s, you wake up for another round. In your 50s, you wake up and go to the bathroom. Be like, you be like, you want something? Yeah, I want the bathroom.
Right.
Just don't even look at me
Grab a
like that.
glass
I
of
wish
water
you
on my
would.
way back.
I wish you would. Don't look at me like that. I'm just. But I'm just saying, things change.
They change. But listen, it doesn't mean it falls apart.
No, it
okay?
doesn't.
We'll talk about it more in another episode.
Listen, certain foods are still delicious.
Right.
You just can't eat them every day.
You sure can.
Come on, talk to me now.
Listen, again, okay, I work in a high school.
You do?
I see kids every day. They eat pizza and French fries. Every day. Pizza and French fries. Pizza and French fries. I remember those days.
You remember those days?
I remember those days. I could eat pizza and French fries every day. Then it got to a point where the French fries and the pizza started showing.
Well,
And I had to change.
I had to change.
And I had to eat some kale
Well,
and some protein smoothies.
protein smoothies. And you know something else you made me think about?
What?
That change, and this is how, so we're going to help you to learn how to change together in a
Okay.
light way.
Okay.
In a light way. So I remember when we were younger, remember how
I'm
we...
sorry. All that conversation a few moments ago just got. I'd rather be with you.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like,
So here's how change works. So I remember we were younger, man, we would stay up to like 2, 3 in the morning watching, binging movies and eating stuff and just chilling.
right.
Right? And then all of a sudden, not too long ago, we wanted to go see a movie. And they had like a 10:30.
Oh, we would jump up. Like, it's like,
Oh,
movie?
yeah. Movie?
Let's roll.
Psst, what? Then we saw this movie that was coming out, and they had like a 10:30 showing.
Uh-huh.
And we was like, psst, what you talking? Psst, we
No, okay.
we gonna be in these streets.
First of all, you were like, I was actually a little more realistic.
Okay.
You were like, I'm like, are you sure?
Like,
baby?
psst,
It's
tell me I'm
10:30?
old.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me I'm
You
old.
were
We
like,
going to the
we
movies.
can do this.
We in these streets. Let me tell you something. As the credits were starting,
Our eyes got
I was
heavy.
like, oh God.
We just paid
And I'm looking at the watch like,
how, take a nap.
how long this movie is?
we just paid,
How long this movie is?
we just bought this $50 popcorn
So here's what
to
we.
fall asleep.
So we both have accepted. We still gonna watch movies. We just ain't going to 10:30 show.
No, we go to the matinee.
And you know what else we learned to do together?
What is that?
Take naps. I love a nap. A nap. I thought naps was for kids. Let me tell you something.
Well, tell us.
The nap is of the Lord.
It is. It's of the
Jesus
Lord.
made naps.
He did.
Bible says he rested. Jesus took a nap. What you talking about? I'm gonna take one.
If that is not a way to make a scripture work for what you're
I
trying
made that thing
for
work
the
for me.
point that you're
I
trying
made
to
that
make.
thing work for me. So
That's
here's
what you
the thing.
preachers do.
If we're gonna make this thing last forever, we have to learn how to grow together.
We do.
And growing together means talking about the changes that are happening and the changes that need to happen.
Oh my God.
I know I'm on fire tonight.
That part right there that need to happen.
Need to happen.
We have to understand that some things are needful.
Yeah, some things are needful. We need to have conversations about how we handle our money as we get older.
Yeah.
Right? Because what was important at 20 is no longer that important at 40.
Right. We didn't mind living paycheck to paycheck
Nah,
at 20.
nah.
We didn't mind if the bill, as long as the bill got paid before
Listen.
the shut off notice, we were good.
We was good.
We were good.
Listen, and I know y'all watching, you see Pastor with these brand names on. Please understand, I buy only on sales. And when I can do it on sale, on top of another sale. Because brand name ain't that important to me. I like quality, but I'm not paying millions of bucks just to wear somebody
Right.
else's name on my
Yeah,
chest.
exactly.
Right? Because we gotten older. And we out of time.
I know.
Jesus, man, what in the
The
world?
time goes by
Man.
so quickly.
Well, because I need a nap. So I
Is
just
that
talking
what-
about this nap.
is
so
that what it is?
I'm going to say
You
we
need a
gonna-
nap?
Can I take a nap before we go close, or should I just wait till we finish?
No, I think you should just wait
Okay.
till we're
Man,
finished.
okay,
We're
I'm gonna
almost
wait.
finished.
We almost there?
You don't need to take a nap
Okay.
right
so
now.
here's what we're going to do. Thank you for watching another episode
Yes.
of Marriage is Dope, right?
I know.
As
Thank
we
you.
always say, please, if you are enjoying this, we want to hear from you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So please go to our email address. I was going to say Facebook, but we share that because All of our social medias is simply My Dope Marriage.
Exactly.
Everything, right?
Everything.
But you can go to our email address, right?
Yeah.
Which is mydopemarriage@gmail.com.
gmail.com.
We want to hear from
We
you.
want to hear from you. Go to our website. You can't remember the email? Go to the website, dopemarriage.com. You'll find everything that you need.
Everything.
Previous podcasts.
Everything.
You'll find other things that we do, information about us, and how to contact us. And then look for us on social media because
there. We in them
always
streets.
putting out little questions.
We in them social media
yes,
streets.
and little surveys, and we want to hear from you, okay?
do.
So please visit us, spread the word, and we'll see you back here again for another vodcast.
Vodcast,
That's
podcast.
a new word when your podcast also has video.
Okay, that's what she said.
That's what somebody told me.
Okay, I believe you.
Okay.
It's
so,
vodcast.
Marriage is fun, exciting.
Intoxicating.
I'd rather be with you. Yeah.
But most of all, marriage is dope. God bless
Until
you.
next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.